So over a year ago now, I got hold of the Keychron M6 mouse when it first came out. And given the way it was advertised, I compared it to the Logitech MX Master 3 mouse. And although there are a lot of similarities with these two mice, and the M6 mouse has a lot of the same key features as the MX Master, I came to the conclusion that the M6 would not be replacing the MX Master 3. But after using the M6 mouse for over a year now, let me explain why I was wrong, and why you should seriously consider ditching your MX Master mouse. So I'm going to break this video down into sort of key reasons why I think the Keychron M6 mouse is a better choice. Now the glaringly obvious point to make is that M6 mouse is much cheaper, and I would definitely argue better value for money than the MX Master mouse. You can currently buy it from Keychron's website for $49, but if you can stretch to an extra $20, and I'd recommend this, you get the 4000Hz polling rate version. And you definitely do notice the difference, especially if you want to do any sort of gaming and want to use this mouse. However, if you don't want to spend that extra money, the 1000Hz polling rate version still has a better polling rate than the MX Master 3S, which has a maximum polling rate of 125Hz. And yet, the MX Master 3S currently costs you $99.99 on the Logitech website. That is double the price of the base version of the Keychron M6. And that leads me on to my next point. Both mice have ergonomic designs, which means that they both nicely fit into your hand, provided you're not left-handed. They also both have the side rests where your thumb sits, which can provide you with more comfort when you're using the mouse. This is especially helpful if you're using it for a long period of time. However, in terms of their designs, the M6 mouse is entirely made from plastic, and I originally thought that this was a flaw, as it made the mouse feel slightly cheaper than its MX Master counterpart. However, I was wrong. What having an entirely plastic mouse does is, it prolongs its use. The mouse barely looks any different from when I first bought it. The MX Master mouse, on the other hand, is covered in a sort of rubber coating, which does help give it a bit of grip when you're using it. After a while, this rubber grip starts to show wear, and as you can see from mine, this is especially noticeable over where my thumb sits. It obviously still functions, it just looks more worn down. And I have heard from others who have had the white version of the MX Master mouse, this is particularly noticeable. This is not something that you're going to get with either the white or black version of the M6 mouse. The latest version of the M6 mouse has the option to adjust the DPI. It can go up to a DPI of 26,000, provided you're using it with a wireless receiver that comes with the mouse. This makes this mouse so much more precise, and it's really obvious when you switch from the MX Master 3S to the Keychron M6. The MX Master 3S has a normal DPI of 1000 and a maximum DPI of 8000. And whilst this may not be that important for day-to-day use, if you are going to want to use either of these mice for gaming, you're going to want the M6, especially because of the higher DPI, and especially if you're using it for a first-person shooter game. This leads me on to my next point. The M6 mouse is substantially more versatile than the MX Master. Yes, the MX Master is great for productivity, but is essentially capped to office work and just general use. The M6, on the other hand, can be used for all that and then more. If you're someone who doesn't want to change your mouse when gaming, or want a mouse that can be used with lots of different devices, I definitely choose the M6. Now, for this point, I'd argue I'm a bit biased because my current desk setup includes the latest Keychron K2HE keyboard, and if you want to hear me discuss this in more detail, you can click on the link up here. But this means I'm already using the Keychron launcher to customize my keyboard. This makes it really easy, also customize my mouse using the exact same software. All I have to do is plug in my mouse using a USB-C cable, and then I can change the buttons on my mouse and customize them to the way I want. And as I said before in my previous video, I compared these two mice. I couldn't do this as Keychron had not released their software yet at that time. The MX Master 3S can also be customized using Logitech's own software, and to be fair to Logitech, this software is fairly intuitive. Previously, I had argued that the fact that MX Master weighed more, and that was a good thing, as it just made the mouse feel a lot more premium. However, now that I've gotten used to using the M6, I actually prefer the fact it only weighs 78 grams when compared to the MX Master 3S, which weighs 140 grams. Having a lighter mouse just makes it easier, and it kind of just glides across the desk mat. The M6 also works really well alongside my K2HE keyboard and my Apple trackpad. Now, I think some people will disagree with me, but I would argue that the M6 mouse is less rattly than the MX Master. And when I talk about rattle, I'm mainly talking about the rattle that comes from the scroll wheel. And there's definitely some rattle that comes with the M6, but the M6 Master is actually much more obvious. And if I'm being honest, neither of them really bother me, but I know this will be an issue for some people. However, the M6 mouse isn't perfect. There's still two things about it which really do annoy me, and I really do hope Keychron try and fix. First of all, the side scroll wheel is in the wrong place. Now you wouldn't notice it if you just look at the mouse. However, when I compare them together, with the MX Master, if I raise my thumb to use the side scroll wheel, the tip of my thumb comfortably sits on it. The only part of my hand that I'm having to move is my thumb. With the M6, that doesn't work. My hand naturally sits further forward on the M6, which means if I raise my thumb up to use the side scroll wheel, it sits in the wrong place. Ideally, the side scroll wheel on the M6 should be further forward, although this would look weird, it would function a lot better. This would also beat having to move my whole hand like I do now when I'm trying to use the side scroll wheel. Or more often than not, what happens is I just don't bother using the side scroll wheel. The other big issue with the M6 mouse is the battery. Now, according to Keychron's website, the M6 can go up to 80 hours of use without being charged. However, I don't really believe this. I feel like I'm charging this mouse a lot more than that. However, according to Logitech on their website, their mouse can apparently go up to 70 days without being charged. And to be honest, I'm actually much more inclined to believe this. I can barely remember ever charging my MX Master mouse, and you just get a lot of use out of it before the battery runs down. Not only that, but apparently a quick 1 minute charge with the MX Master mouse will give you 3 hours of usage. The battery Logitech have chosen for the MX Master 3S, to put it quite simply, it just works. The battery Keychron have chosen, not so much. I should also point out that the M6 is quite loud just to use generally, whether that's with the scroll wheel or the clicks from the mouse itself. MX Master 3S has silent clicks and the scroll wheel is substantially quieter when it's used. Overall, it's clearly going to come down to personal choice, but for me, I do really like the versatility of the M6 mouse. I also like the fact that I can use the same software for both my keyboard and my mouse, and the clicky sound from the M6 doesn't really bother me. But the two things I really do wish Keychron would fix are the position of the side scroll wheel and the battery. And the battery in particular is a big issue. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.